Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video contains images of artwork created by H.R. Geiger. These images are known to make some people uncomfortable. Proceed at your own risk.
Warning: this video contains spoilers for most of the movies in the Alien franchise. Watch at your own risk and beware of face huggers. Warning.
Hello and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be covering the first movie of the Ellen Ripley Alien quadrilogy. My plans are to do the 4 movies in the quadrilogy, flip back around, do Covenant, or do Prometheus and Covenant, then end with Romulus. I will not be covering the abominations that are the Alien versus Predator movies, because they are abominations, and I will die on that hill. So, if you decide you want to blow me up in the comments for considering those 2 movies abominations, have a party. I won't be offended. It is what it is. Also, before we kick off into this video will contain artwork by H.R. Geiger. Geiger's artwork has been known to, let's just say, invoke feelings of almost a human kind. So let's leave that as a warning. Proceeding any further than this is on you, because you have been warned. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Here's my boxed edition Blu-ray Alien. I love this movie. A little bit of background. I, at the age of 9 years old, somehow convinced my mom to take me to go see this movie. This is a rated R haunted house in space movie. But I somehow convinced my mom after going to see Star Wars to take me to this movie. Kind of like Dan O'Bannon convincing 20th Century Fox to get Ridley Scott and make the movie. How I did it, I don't know. But I got to go see it. I had forgotten about the movie. Time went on. Me and a friend of mine from childhood, still a good friend of mine, we'll call him Gary because that's his name, and a friend of mine who later became my first wife, Lisa, because that's her name. We were tooling around one day. He had noticed and came across the Aliens movie, James Cameron. So we loaded up one day and we went and watched this movie. And it took a while for this lump of clay in here to make the connection. Then ever since then, I have seen. I saw Alien 3. Me and my first wife. We saw that together. We also saw Alien Resurrection. We saw that together. She passed in 2001 from cancer. And I've seen Covenant, Prometheus, Romulus, and the Two Abominations in movie theaters during the first run. That's just something. For me, it's kind of a pride thing that I love this franchise that much. Now the series that 20th Century Fox is going to be due, I don't know. I'm kind of out. It's called Alien Earth, and I don't know. But I have bored you long enough with background for almost 5 minutes now, so let's get on to it. This movie was written by Dan O'Bannon, directed by Ridley Scott, with artwork by H.R. Geiger. This movie came about because of a failed Dune project. Jabberwoski's Dune, I'm not sure exactly the correct pronunciation, because it failed. And unfortunately, or fortunately for us, unfortunately for Ridley Scott, his brother had died of cancer. Dan O'Bannon had met, and Ridley Scott, because of his brother dying, bowed out of doing the Dune movie. Dan O'Bannon had been there to help write, and he met the artist H.R. Geiger. Then time passed, and Dan O'Bannon was shopping his Haunted House in Space script, and nobody was buying it. Nobody was touching it, because they're like, people aren't going to do that kind of science fiction. They're not going to do it. Then this up and coming director by the name of George Lucas releases a movie, convinces 20th Century Fox to make his movie. And they do it basically on a shoestring budget for what Mr. Lucas was wanting to do. His movie came out in the summer of 1976, a little movie called Star Wars. You may have heard of it. And it did enough box office that Century 20 Fox basically went, get that O'Bannon kid in here. And, not O'Bannon, that's local family here. Yeah, O'Bannon, Dan O'Bannon. Yeah, get that O'Bannon kid in here, and we're going to make a movie. And Ridley Scott was tapped to direct this movie. He had enough time had passed, and he had finished, not that you ever finish grieving for a loved one that dies, but he agreed to do the movie, and this is the masterpiece we got. We got this haunted house in space. The artwork, the feeling, the one thing Ridley Scott I have to give him for all his movies, and there's some Ridley Scott movies that I really don't care for the story, but I like to look at because they're just beautiful movies. Movies like Kingdom of Heaven, beautiful movie. Not real keen on the story, but it's a beautiful movie. I'll watch it. Now, movies that he did out of the science fiction realm that are great and beautiful is The Duelist. Check out The Duelist if you ever get a chance. Wonderful, beautiful movie. But I digress. So he cast, when they did the casting, he went into it with the idea, because all we had were last names. He had Dallas, Captain Dallas, Warrant Officer Ripley, First Officer, Science Officer Ash. So, being all last names, there was no specific gender accredited to him. So, he cast who he thought would work. A side note on that. Here, probably the last 5-10 years, the ending of this movie, or near the end of this movie, has gotten a lot of criticism for sexual exploitation of Sigourney Weaver. It's my understanding that it's only been in recent years that she has said yes, it was exploitive. But in a book that I have that my lovely wife that I'm currently married to got me, talks about Sigourney Weaver's audition. And basically she came in wearing thigh-high fuck-me boots, short as possible short shorts, no panties, basically a halter that covered her tits, walked into the audition, put her foot up on the table, and asked, who do I got to fuck around here to get a part in this movie? And that is how the Ripley character was. Basically, at that point, Scott wanted the Ripley character to be completely rewritten. I don't know, the book that I have that covers the making of Alien doesn't say how she was originally written. It just says that Ridley Scott wanted it to be rewritten the way that we get it in the movie, and basically wanted Sigourney Weaver to be his hero. And in 1979, that was a ballsy move. That was some huge balls move. Because you look at all the pushback we get in 2024 about women being heroes and liberated and all that. In 1979, this was unheard of. This was just like knock all the critics off their feet type thing. Though there is a masochistic part of me that would love to have seen a YouTube or a Twitter or an X or Instagram and Facebook at that time period when this was the movie with the female heroine. Oh, that could have been, that would have been some crazy shit. You think about the crazy stuff we get now. We go on and on. But the movie, that is, then you have Angela Cartwright, Ian Holm, which they kind of did Ian Holm wrong and rhymeless, but you know. You see Tom Skerritt. Yeah, it was a cast. John Hurt, the late great John Hurt, and everybody. The names. It was like the actor who did the Alien. I can't pronounce his name, and I can't think of his name. I know it starts with a B. And the actor who played Parker, and the actor who played Parker's homeboy. I can't think of his name. Brett. Brett's the character's name. Can't think of the actor's name. But that cast was lightning in the bottle. I don't think you could ever have a cast like that again. The script was phenomenal. The whole, like I said, the whole haunted house in space, the claustrophobia. It's just one of those movies that holds up. The filming, from what I understand, Ridley Scott basically told everybody, because he wanted everything he could push out of Sigourney Weaver, and he intentionally told the actors and the actress to be assholes to Sigourney Weaver, and they did, and they pushed her to her limits, and that's one of the reasons why we get the performance we do. We get the symbolism that we get. We get the oppressed, and it's not an exaggeration of how women were treated. When you understand that it has been in my lifetime when it's been made legal for women to open their own bank accounts, have their own credit cards, and do things without their father's permission or their spouse or their husband's permission. Yeah, that happened in my living lifetime. So yeah, it's in 1979. A lot of what this movie portrayed was there. The story into itself, we're gonna have to do this in two parts. I've just noticed that this movie is running, or this video is running close to 17 minutes. So this is part one of two. Next video, I think we'll actually get into the Alien movie itself and talk about it. So until next time, remember to be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.